Hey guys, NotSilkOrSatan here, and today we are in a game called Stanley Parable. We all know what this means. My favourite sort of humour. The end is never the end, the never end is never the end, is loading. Nah. I don't want to.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Right, Stan?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders
Because Stanley didn't know any different.
as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh. Did he now? Are you sure? Are you sure that's what Stanley did? Well, it seems like Stanley doesn't have a choice. Stanley doesn't want to leave his office. Stanley's confused. Ooh, mug. Can I pick anything up? Definitely WASD. Interesting. Alright, we'll just do as we're told.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Lock my door!
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wow. Job goals. Pencil sharpening. Ooh, he gets a pencil sharpener and a computer. Wow. High life. But this desk is in the worst place. Paper. Hey look, window. Ums. This is a horrible office. Okay. I don't know where I'm going. The meeting room. Yep.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left. So we'll go on the right one.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Great. Oh, I hate this guy already. Yep, can't get in any of the doors. Employee lounge, yay!
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
There's definitely nice room in
Stanley
the opposite.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Can we not look out the window? Rude.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
Yep.
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
No, I'm looking at the coffee machine. No, cat spotted the hamster.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
That mug says dad. Or does it say dead?
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Notebook. Just gonna hold on and see if there's any more dialogue. I'm going with there probably won't be any. Yeah. Finally, Stanley left the room.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Stanley is a short man. Wow, blueprints. Can Stanley have some more dialogue? Narrator. Hello? Stanley likes dialogue. Do not lie. If you are lying, stop right now. Stop. Stop lying. Huh? Stop lying. I don't care if you're only lying to yourself. This is not the way I was supposed to go. Let me out. Let me out! Oh, we're out of a car. Stanley is confused. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. It will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift. $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift. $5,000. If then you'll be dead. Right. Ready? Gonna do a huge ass run.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Yeah!
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Well, end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, loading.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Yep.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Stanley is hot-footing it that way to die another way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ooh.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Complete.
Feeling a
Today's
wave of
unfinished agenda.
disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Employee number Jim. Jim? Is that you? Not cost efficient. Standardized graphs 40 times wide. Push for funding. Get Chris out the broom closet. Ongoing. Oh, Chris. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergy guy. Who moved my desk? Keep the targets on the topic of blank, 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 blankety blank. Whoa. Rates of increase in graphs per slide. No more charge, please, I'm begging. Boss appreciation. Okay. Oh no, we did that at uni. Why did we hire you? Alright, now you're both people fighting. I quite like to be comatose in the middle there. Yep. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less, do amazing work. Don't get fired.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything.
I'm
This
sorry.
is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
This isn't doing nothing. Reading the PowerPoint. Everyone is unique. You most of all. You can't spell unique without the word you. Well, you can, but I can't say unique without the word you. Charts, slides, charts and slides. Yeah, next. Yeah. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Please no more charts. Yeah, there we go. Done. What's on the board? What do people want? Things, money, more money. Things, but with money to get more things. Graphs? Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. Stock market somewhere here. Coloured in segment. Stripes. Requires more secondary research. What is hot? Target demographic. Teenagers. Profit, 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 profit. Profits? Someone's got the right idea there. Bi-quarterly post-review review. Teenagers, size demographic. Space between the teenagers, a lot of percent. Throw something in the ideas bin. 10, no more bins / trash cans. 20, naming of the ideas. Something. 30, firing of me. Ideas bin. Yay! We need less reviews. 402 and 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water heaters. Water cooler heaters. Sorry. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net, some sort of child trap. Alright, let's go. Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
No, he didn't. He's wondering where Chris is gone. Chris is out of the broom closet. What's going on?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Chris! Chris!
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
He's wondering where the shit Chris went. Chris? Nope.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Yeah.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Chris. He's supposed to be in there, but he's not. Where's Chris?
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Yep.
If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Chris!
I never would have thought to mention it.
Chris is supposed to be in here. Did you not read the leaflet? Memo?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
Yep.
I hope your friends find this concerning.
Were you going to cause me to have an ending?
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Yep.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Sounds good to me. Living his own life.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I love this mechanic. Okay, I'm done.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person you too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids.
So good.
Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Right. What if? No, he's actually done now. Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But does he have to? What were you going to say about that? Stanley went the fuck downstairs. Stanley went the fuck upstairs. Stanley's trying to go upstairs. Stanley doesn't like stairs. Look. Wow, this controls ass. Executive bathroom. What if I want to take a shit? Maybe I should wait for my boss to call me? Nope. Can't close the door. Hey, boss's secretary. Where did you go? Ooh. This would be the boss's hunky room. Duh. Hey, boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I want to know what I'm meant to be interacting with. It says behind the boss's desk. What the...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. $2845.
I'm just typing in numbers. 2584 3197 0002.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story.
Oh.
Well, whoop-de-doo.
Let down. Well, there's nothing in there I can interact with anyway. Oh. What was it? 5, 4, 2, 8.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Stanley got it right. Eventually. Stanley is a big boy. Now what? He. That's dark, I don't like it. But it feels like this is where we're supposed to go. So I'm gonna go into the dark. Oh. There's nothing there. Yeah. Well, I was close to getting back out.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I want to go back up. I don't want to be down here. Nope.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
That's about no. Stanley doesn't want to go in there. Stanley will stand here and look at it. Way more like Stanley. Stanley stood there twiddling his thumbs. Oh, no. You open them fucking doors, mate. You open them doors.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, he has to, because he can't get out. There is actually no way out of this. Is that a microwave? Because that seems like my kind of job.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Wait.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
What's that
and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
But what's that one? It's broken. Let's try and find our office. 427, wasn't it? Yep, there's our office. Alright. This way? Well, I realize they don't trust me now.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Hey, 399.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Private.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh, there's still further up to go, but it seems like this is our stop. Come on, Stanley.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I mean, do we have to? Ooh, console disabled. Let down. What's in here? Ooh, an alarmed door. Ooh. Funky. Whee! Nice to know that was productive. Ooh. 5. Okay. I like pressing buttons. 2. 1. I'm missing a 3 and a 4. It's 3. Now back to 5. Okay. Mind controls idle, awaiting input. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
So just
more time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Yeah.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
No.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Well, apparently it does.
Oh, dear me. What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
That employee, what you saying?
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing.
Excuse you.
No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Ooh. He actually exploded to Stanley. Okay. Hello? Cat's bored now, he wants out. Yay. Well, that was fun. But I suppose we're starting again. Oh, we have a pencil sharpener too! Alright. Let's go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
Be
memo.
right back.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe He thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever
Why has
he
his car
went?
got brake lights on?
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons.
I don't want to.
Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my
I thought you were
job.
going to die alone.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
No.
I am okay.
Nope.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Yay. Well, I did go downstairs.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
You should even call an ambulance first. Where's Stanley? He's gone through hell. Okay, be right back. Just for real this time.
And through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Wait. I didn't see this before. And that's
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Sounds good.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Stanley doesn't want to.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, narrator.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Yep. My man don't need to suffer. Wait. Man didn't die. Man's still alive. Man didn't want that. Man hates life. Whoa.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
Yep.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yeah. Wow. This is so cool! Yep, those are filing cabinets. Corridor. Pacing of this opening section is important to get right. The corridor had been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches 2 doors in a good time. Nature paintings. Gonna credit the artist? Stanley's computer. Nope. Nope. Sorry. Yeah, I couldn't find 4. Button sound. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Whoa. That's cool! Credits. Well, good going, guys. Wow. I'm guessing these are door designs. The office. Can I? Nope. 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 Okay. In very museum-like fashion. Office clock. Boss's office. Whoa. This is cool. Underground. Oh, wait, what? Early version of the underground portion of the game.
Oh, I don't know. They're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
Narrator outtakes. Employee lounge. This is pretty neat. Ooh. Freedom ending. This is the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Well, what ending do I have then? Countdown desk. Freedom ending. As it existed in beta. Countdown room. Monitor room elevator. I want to see it all, but I feel like I'm missing bits already. Stanley's office. Stanley's office. Stanley's office. Wait, which one's the final one? That one. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office. Oh, that's rad. This game is so good. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Will the game feature capybaras? Well, it didn't. If only. More endings, fewer endings, more narrators, fewer narrators, more Stanley, less Stanley. The point of Stanley Parable HD remix is to win. Am I going crazy? Isn't the same image? Was that quite there before? I don't remember. How do I go back? Can you check for me? The point of Stanley Parable is to lose. Larger tags! Maintenance room. The office. Wow. Oh, let's go back. Because there was a room I didn't check. There was a room I didn't check. I know that. Where was it though? In here? Yeah. This way.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Mate.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
I can't
No,
see anything.
perhaps
screen
not.
flat.
Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Yeah. Don't let time Can we start again? Hello? You can't jump. Oh my god. I didn't realise this game had achievements. Or can I do anything? Hello? Can I do anything? No. I'm guessing not. Well, I'm gonna leave that there because there are so many endings to this game and I don't want to give them all away. Just hope that I've done different ones to everybody else that you may have seen. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave your thumbs, subscribe, and push the notification bell to be told when I upload my video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!